So this session is designed on my PMP booklet. That is this booklet, right? This booklet is straightforward. It is 18 pages book, and the purpose of this booklet is basically to give you the best of the content that you need for your final day preparation. I'll repeat, for the final day preparation. It's not in depth, it is straightforward what you need to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc. etc. Right? We will go through some of the content of this book, and those who want to buy this book, I put the link later on. You can buy on my website the e-copy. It's like just a cup of coffee equivalent to that, only $8. Or you can buy the hard one on Amazon. Your call, right? But it will be on this booklet. I will go through every content in the entire session. I will not take question answers during the session, but once the session is completed, I will open it for question answers. Whatever questions you may have, I will be there for you till all your questions are answered. My intent with you is very straightforward. My intent with you guys, with everyone, is that you understand PMP in the best possible way. You understand what you need to know for your PMP exam, how and what are the steps that you need to look into that. People who are at YouTube, who are at watching at LinkedIn, we are live at Zoom. You can basically join us. You can join us at Zoom, because otherwise you will have that tented view where you will see other people's also. Okay, so Mushafiq, those who are my student, don't ask here regarding the copy. Put the message in the chat to me in my personal chat. Those who are my premium student, then I'll give you a copy. Okay, Mush, don't put message here. Later on, put that. Okay, so straightforward. Let's go. If you have your dogs, for those who are dog person, your children, whatever, like put your mobile step one away for next 60 to 90 minutes that you are with me. Let's just be focused here, because in next 60 to 90 minutes, I'm gonna give you the entire PMP. It's like drinking from hose. Like you open the hose and you are drinking it. It will be a lot of content at a very fast pace. So if you don't pay 100% attention in next 60 to 90 minutes, okay, you will lose the content, you will not understand it. Okay, so it's very important that you put for next 90 minutes, put your attention. One more time, this is based on PMP booklet. I will not be answering question while I'm going in the flow. I want to complete it. Then whoever has any question, I will be more than happy to answer the questions. Of course, the first priority will be given to the premium students, and then those who are joining for free, we can give it to them. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's go for the best. And okay, so here we go. Straightforward. This is based on PMP booklet, right? Summary. This is a master class, a quick revision of entire PMP. The first and most important thing we need to understand that the life cycle of projects, how those flow. By the way, guys, if you think this black view is better or this light view is better, put in the chat box. I will use that one. Okay, that is the only question. I'm gonna get your opinion on it. Put in the chat box. You prefer black, because I was kind of preferring black as compared to white, because yellow look very good on it. But I'm thinking to use yellow ink, right? So black, light, light view, white, white, black is fine. Okay, let's go for first 10 minutes in black, and then we will get more view into that. Okay, so the project starts in this way. You have a need assessment, the reason why do you even need a project, what is the purpose of project. We looked into that way, why the project is there, we need to have the reason about it. On the basis of that, we make two business document: business case and benefit management plan. Business case and benefit management plan are basically two business documents that we utilize in our project. Business case will talk about money part, benefit to cost ratio, right? And benefit management plan will talks about intangible benefits, right? Intangible benefits can be things like, okay, brand recognition, things of those nature. Okay, brand recognition, giving back to the community. For example, it is E there. So in USA it is E there. I'm doing this session, right? It's a free master class. Why I'm doing it? It's a benefit management plan. It goes back to my benefit management plan. I'm not earning anything in this pattern session, right? So once these are approved, then your process actually start. The process consists of five parts. Your project consists of five processes: initiation, planning, execution, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. It is very critical that you understand what happens in initiation, what happens in planning, what happens in execution, monitoring and control, and closing. It is important, it is critical, it is good to know what happened in these areas. In initiation, we start with initiation. The first thing, without that the project will not start it, is project charter. In initiation, the project charter is approved, right? The project charter is approved. Once you have project charter at your hand, you make assumption log, and then you make stakeholder register. Project charter, assumption log, and stakeholder register. Okay, once these three things are done, we make project management plan, which consists of 18 plans, and then we implement that plan. In execution, in monitoring and control, we do variance analysis. And in closing, we close the project. In closing, we close
Your
down.
voice is not there, sir.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Did I lost my voice in the start or it's just gone?
You lost your voice that I was saying.
After? Assumption. Assumption log. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I need to put it aside. So let me repeat it for you guys. So in initiation, what happens in initiation? We get project charter. That is the first thing which start the project. Once you have the project at your hand, project charter at your hand, you give it to the key stakeholders so that they know their responsibility. That happens in project charter once it get approved. Then you make assumption log and then stakeholder register. These are the three things that we do in initiation. In planning, we make plans. In execution, we do. In monitoring and control, we compare plan versus actual. In closing, we close the project. A very interesting thing to know here is monitoring and control. Actually, if I put it in a graphical way, if I put it in a graphical way, right? Uh, let's say this is time. Initiation can be like something like this for some time. As soon as the initiation is ending, we start doing planning. Once the plan is done, we start doing execution and then closing. But, but this is a very important thing. Monitoring and control. Let's say this is initiation, this is planning, this is execution, this is closing. Monitoring and control starts from here till here. Even when the project charter is, the moment the project charter is approved till the project is closed, handover, monitoring and control is there. The sponsor can be doing monitoring and control, or project manager himself is going uh, monitoring and control. So monitoring and control overlaps in this way. It's a very important diagram. I'm making it for the first time, so you are the first time getting this thing. This I made because one of my batch 6, the batch 6 which is going to start this Friday, that student asked me, sir, I'm getting confused between monitoring and control and execution. How does that work? Then I came up with this diagram. So this will help you further on how things are happening. Okay. So then we move forward. Now, now comes the sequence here that I want you to understand. Now comes the sequence which I can go back to the booklet. Okay. Just to give you an idea, how does the booklet look like, right? So few things we need to understand about the project before I move into detail. Project is a temporary endeavor. There's a start, there's an end to that. Once the project ends, it get converted into operations, right? The project ends, it get converted into operations. It's an important thing. Then there are different type of organization, like functional organization, which does not do any project. Functional manager is there, who has 100% power in a functional organization. Whereas then we get projectized organization, project manager has all the power. In between in between we have a matrix organization. This is a very important thing to understand. We have a matrix organization. Matrix is that type of organization in which there is a project manager, as well as there is a there's a project manager, as well as you also have functional manager. So we have weak matrix, we have balanced matrix, we have strong matrix. Write it down at somewhere in your notes. If in the exam it is not mentioned which type of organization you are working, you will consider it you will consider it as a matrix organization, as a balanced metric organization. If it is not mentioned, you will consider it as a balanced matrix organization. Means both project manager and functional manager has same power here. Both of them have same power here. So if an issue occur, they will try to resolve it, negotiate it. If they cannot negotiate, cannot reach, we go to sponsor. A very critical information for all of you. We don't want to go to sponsor. Going to the sponsor shows my weakness as a project manager, that I am unable to resolve a problem. Right? This is a critical point here. That it shows my weakness. I'm unable to resolve a problem. I don't want to go to sponsor. I want to try to negotiate it. Going to the sponsor is kind of my last resort. Now I am left with nothing else. Now I'm going to the sponsor. This is important thing, especially when you consider how the project management looks into that way. People want to go to sponsor. I don't think you should go to sponsor. You should not go to sponsor unless it is needed. Okay? You should not go to the sponsor unless it is needed. So now I change the color, so you after 10 minutes I can get your feedback which one you like. Now we also need to know different type of organization. PMO, sportive, they provide tools, techniques, templates, things of those nature. Then controlling, they do provide tool, techniques, templates, plus they do audit. That is controlling. Then directive, in directive PMO, they you are doing a day-to-day job, right? You are doing a day-to-day job. What do I mean by you are doing a day-to-day job? You see, when you are in directive, you are doing every single thing what they are saying, what the PMO is saying. You don't have actual power at your hand. You are more like a dummy, right? So in 8% PMP exam, PMP is 8% business environment. You need to know what does compliance mean. Now different type of organization have different compliance. Health and safety compliance, quality compliance, whatever the compliance requirements is, all compliance requirement should be treated as risk, and they go into risk register. All the compliance requirements are considered at risk, and they go to risk register. They are negative risk threat. If you don't do them, bad thing can happen. Then you need to understand the organizational project management framework. What is organizational project management framework? Organization has a strategy that drives portfolio, then portfolio drives programs and projects, and program and projects give results to operations, and this keep on happening. We are basically measuring business value here, right? We are measuring business value here. This is a very important thing. We are measuring business value here. Guys, if somebody asks question, you can answer them if you know the answer, because I will take all the question answers later. At the end of the session, I will take the all the question answers. So we understand different type of organization, we understand compliance requirement, we understand organizational project management framework. Now every organization need a governance structure. Every organization need a governance structure. The governance structure you can consider as a board of governance. Okay, sponsor is kind of ahead of it. They will review your progress and they will decide shall you move forward or not, right? So that is the purpose of governance board or governance. Governance is a rules regulation that you need to follow. Every country has a governance structure, every organization has a governance structure. Sometimes PMI can say governance board as steering committee, right? But it's the same thing, however governance board has more power. Okay, so now this is what you need to know about business environment, 8% of PMP, and that's it. There is nothing else you need to know about it. Please, one more time I want to share here that PMP exam is based on ECO. PMP ECO, if I go there, PMP exam is based on exam content outline, not on any book. This is 8% business environment, and everything I'm teaching you is actually teaching from this 8% business environment. If you look into that, plan and manage project compliance, evaluate and deliver project benefit and value, evaluate internal and external environment. For that, we need to know what is OPS, organizational process assets, policies, procedures, tools, and templates that we do. We need to know EF, enterprise environmental factors. I like to say that all the factors, internal or external, that are not in control of your project. I like to use the context of pastel. P, where are you? Okay. The P for EF, I like to use pastel. What are the political dynamics? Economical, social, technical, legal, environmental. Both internal as external. What are the dynamics there? Political, economical, social, technical, legal, environmental. Internal as well as external. For example, cultural. Today is a great example of here. So Eid is here, and I'm in USA, New Jersey. There is no holiday there. It's holiday because of Sunday, but if it was tomorrow, there was no holiday. Whereas the entire Gulf countries has 4 to 10 days holidays, right? So that's kind of a EEF, the ways where you need to work into that, right? So this is a very important thing, so that we need to understand, evaluate. Then we need to see how the organization culture accept change, how the organizational culture accept change. What are the things we need to know about the change? When we talk about change, we have different life cycle, which I'll come to you in a later part. But now let's go back to our first thing, what we discussed: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. So let's go to the stakeholder. Project charter is made, that is step one of your project. Once project charter is made, the next step is basically show the charter to the sponsors and the people like that, so that they can review the charter, right? Once, so that they know the responsibility, then we make assumption log. Now we identify stakeholders. Once you, there is a process that is used in identification of stakeholder. You identify stakeholder through this process. You talk to sponsor and other expert, you have their interviews. You have their interviews. You talk to expert, you interview them. You get a focus group, the key stakeholders, ask them who can be stakeholder, because stakeholder can be anyone. At identification steps of the stakeholder, we just identify stakeholder. We don't care who will be or will not, we just identify stakeholder. We also use workshops organizational policies, EF. We identify all the stakeholders, all of them, and put into the document known as stakeholder register. This is very important that we identify all of them, right? We want to get all the stakeholders. We will categorize them later. We will see what to do with them on a second stage or on a third stage. First, let's get them. Once you identify all the stakeholders, the next step is categorizing them. Who are my internal stakeholder? Who are my external stakeholder? Who are upward? Who are downward? We need to categorize the stakeholders: upward, downward, internal, external. Now you have categorized your stakeholder. This also goes into stakeholder register. Once you have categorized your stakeholder, now now comes a very important step. We prioritize the stakeholder. Now we prioritize the stakeholder. In order to prioritize the stakeholder, we use power interest matrix. High power, high interest; low power, low interest; high power, low interest; low power, high interest. We categorize the stakeholder into different categories. People who have high power, high interest, they are important stakeholder. They are key stakeholder. We want to manage them closely. We want to put them near to our heart. They are very important people, right? They can make or break your project. Those people who have high power but their interest is low, keep them satisfied. It is important to understand, like government people can come here. Maybe your CEO can come here. Depends on the project. Keep them satisfied. Those not have power but are interested, keep them informed. Keep them informed. Like maybe they know someone who can know someone who can know someone, right? You never know how things work. You never know how things work. You need to keep them informed. Low power, low interest, put them into watch list. Maybe somebody power changes, things of those nature. That is power interest matrix. Very important for your PMP exam. This is a 2D model, high power, high interest. You can, if we make a 3D model of it, power, interest, and this can be geography, attitude, experience, language, etc., etc., etc. If we have 3D model, this is called stakeholder cube. From 2D, we have made it a 3D model. We also have another 3D model that is called salience model, power, urgency, and legitimacy. Power, urgency, and legitimacy. We categorize the stakeholder according to their power, their urgency, and legitimacy. The purpose is we have identified the stakeholder, we have categorized them, now we have prioritized. Okay, categorization and prioritization, both PMI called it as stakeholder analysis. Both of them are called as stakeholder analysis. Now going back to the major picture that we did, we have made stakeholder register. Now it is updated, initiation is done. Okay, we go to planning. The first plan I'm gonna make is stakeholder engagement plan. Stakeholder engagement plan talks about strategies that are required to engage stakeholder. Stakeholder engagement plan talk about the strategies that are required to engage stakeholders, right? Engage stakeholder. How do we engage them? In the stakeholder engagement plan, we use a tool that is called stakeholder engagement matrix. We check engagement level of each stakeholder. Is he unaware of the project? Is he resistant of the project? Is he neutral of the project? Is he supportive of the project? is he leading? What is his current engagement level? Where does he fall right now? This is current. We are evaluating all the important stakeholder, high power, high interest people now. And what do we desire in the project? Now, one of the reason I'm doing this event, like I spent a good amount of money, I guess 2.5 lakh, that is $2,000 nearly I've spent on different mediums. I'm just talking about ads that I put on Instagram and other areas. Why? Those people who are unaware, I want to make them at least neutral. They should know about me, where they stand, changing their engagement level, right? Those who don't know me, change their engagement level, right? Change their engagement level. At least they should know me. That is my engagement strategy. All these strategies goes into stakeholder engagement plan. Like I do such kind of events almost every month. We do PMP marathon, we do other things. The purpose of these events is those who don't know us, at least they should know us. I put a lot of content with this thing in mind, how they should know me. Unaware to resistant to neutral, sportive, what is needed in the project, what is needed in the project, what is required in the project. We change the engagement level. Once the plan is made, planning is done, we show it to the sponsor. The sponsor approved it. Once the sponsor approved it, your planning is done. Initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, closing. I will be going here and there, back and back from this thing. Initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. Your plan is done. You implement the plan in execution. You do. You don't think. You have a plan. You implement it. Implement it. Implement it. In monitoring and control, we do we do variance analysis. We check, is our plan effective or not? Is our plan effective or not? And if my plan is not effective, I change the plan. If my plan is not effective, I update my plan. I change my plan. But in order to change the plan, you need to raise change request. CR must be raised. This change request is raised in a process. Write it down, it's important. Integrated change control. Integrated change control, you raise a change request. The change request is approved by change control board. Sponsor is the head of that. Once the change is approved, then you can update the plan. Please note, you need no change request to add stakeholder in a stakeholder register. Stakeholders are added throughout the project in the stakeholder register. No CR. But when you want to update plan, you need a change request. That is stakeholder topic from this point of context. Let's go into booklet, quickly read, and I what we have there. Okay. So how to engage stakeholders? Steps. Step, identify stakeholder using expert judgment, focus group, etc. etc. Put them into the stakeholder register. Do the stakeholder analysis, analyze them upward, downward, then prioritize the stakeholder using power interest metrics, etc. etc. Once they are in the stakeholder register, is updated and updated. Once the stakeholder register is updated, initiation is completed. Uh, Make a stakeholder engagement plan. Check the current engagement and desired engagement. Once the plan is approved by sponsor, implement it. Check if plan is valid. If not, raise a change request at any time. Step number 10 is very important. At any time, a new stakeholder is identified. He goes to the stakeholder register. No change request is needed. Then you raise a change request, update the plan, then other plans are updated. Once you have updated all the plan, then you can update assumption log. That is a stakeholder topic summary, right? Guys, I know, I understand many of you are saying it's very fast, it's quick. The purpose of this master class is to give you some more information in quick way. If you want to you want to dive deep into our preparation, we do interactive live boot camp where I explain this entire thing, the entire PMP in 6 days, right? There's a 2 weeks training, then 2 month coaching, and we have like 99% of the success rate for this. So that's one of the thing that we look into that into the program, so you can join also into that. Okay, let's come back to that. Now communication. Now as I will keep moving forward to these topics: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, closing. Initiation is done, I'm not gonna revisit it. Stakeholder is done, next is communication. Communication is basically how you communicate, right? So in order to communicate, we need to have a communication management plan. Communication management plan talks about 4 hours of communication. Right information, right information at right time. Time is important to right people, to have right impact. For example, this session is more critical. I put it everywhere for those people who are preparing for the PMP exam, because this is a master class. This will give them the revision and things like that, right? Right information, giving only that information. I'm actually putting Pareto to you. I'm putting Pareto to you guys so that you get the key information at right time. Right people, like everybody who has messaged me or talked me, I told them this is only for people who are preparing for PMP, to have the right impact so that you can understand. What I'm trying to say is, who needs the information, when they need the information, why they need the information, how the information will be given to them, where the information will be stored. Okay, all these things we are asking the question, and then we are looking into the political awareness. Do I understand the political dynamics? Do I understand the political dynamics that the project is going through? What are the political dynamics that are in place in the project? What are the cultural dynamics in place? Do I understand you need a formal information or you need a informal information? I'm a very informal guy. I'm always wearing t-shirts. I like when I'm doing these trainings, I don't wear pant coats and things like that. I'm a very informal guy into that way, right? So if I go to a formal event, I may talk in a different way. Mhm. For example, in this session, normally how I do session, whatever. Now this is how my brain works. I see 3 messages in the chat box, in the chats. Unless I don't see them, I'm not. My mind does not work into that way. I need to read them. I need to reply them. But today I'm doing a master class. I don't have time of that. I want to complete it in 60 to 90 minutes. We are already done with 35 minutes, right? So I want to move it quickly. So how you want to do the information? I need to understand them. Do you want to have a push communication? Do you want to have a pull communication? Do you want to have an interactive communication? Or do you want to have a combination of all these three? How you want to move in the project? I need to know that. Push, pull, interactive, how that thing will work. I need to look into that way, right? This is a very important thing. I want to look at the push information, pull information, interactive information, how I want to do. Then when I'm sending the information and you are receiving the information, man, are you even understanding the information or not? I want to get your feedback. A feedback loop has to be there. The feedback loop has to be there through somehow, so that information is being understood or not. Anything that basically cause the information to damage is called noise. We want to limit the noise. We want to minimize the noise. I need to see how the noise will look into that, right? One of the most important thing when we talk about information is planning, execution, monitoring and control. I have eliminated initiation and closing to focus on the communication flow, how the communication actually flow. Deliverables are done here. We get work performance data. Data is basically a lowest form of information. Deliverable is completed. That is. Data. Data goes to all department, scope, schedule, cost, quality, risk, procurement. Everyone have their own plans. Let's say stakeholder. We just made stakeholder plan. Data. Data is basically is the that this stakeholder is saying this thing. Let's say that's a data. We will compare it with the plan and we will make work performance information. That's at least a little bit better information level than data. I would say level 1, level 2. Then this goes all to the project manager. He combined them into a report that is called work performance report. In planning, we make communication management plan. In execution, we do two things. We implement the communication plan and we share work performance report according to according to communication management plan. Like who needs how much information. When somebody says that I'm receiving too much information or too less information, I need to check my communication management plan, right? That's very, very important. I need to check my communication management plan, how the communication management plan will work into that way. I need to look into that, what communication management plan is there. We need to look into that. Some people are asking about will we get this, what is the cost. Please right now focus on what I am saying, focus on learning this topic. We will have time, I will answer all your question at the end. So for now let's focus this. Take notes, I expect you guys to take notes. By the way, whatever I am drawing, I will share it with you guys later on. Okay. And if you want to get the PMP booklet, you can buy on my website. It's like $9, or you can get it from Amazon $9. The PMP booklet on which we have made this thing. Okay, let's go to a PMP booklet and let's see what we have in communication. All the communication will follow communication management plan. Communication will have 4 hour of communication. It covers who needs the information, when the information need. Very important point. Identify communication requirement of each stakeholder, and it depends on what culture and political awareness. Always, face-to-face communication is preferred, even if the team is virtual. Even if the team is virtual, I want to prefer face-to-face communication. We use push-pull interactive communication. Then we discuss work performance data into report. Virtual team has its benefit and virtual team has its disadvantage. We need to see the advantages as the disadvantages, both of them, to identify that which information is needed. Okay. If you want to calculate communication channel, we can calculate n into n minus 1 by 2. That's basically communication topic. Now, PMP exam has 4 important topics: stakeholder communication, team, and AHI. Stakeholder communication, team, and agile. Okay. These are most important. Guys, my voice is low. Ankit just put in the message. Is it low? Then Ankit, you leave and log in and use some headphones there. Okay. Now comes the third and most important part. I would say team is as of today is more important than any other topic of PMP. The feedback that I got yesterday, 3 students cleared. Like in the last week, we have 15 plus students cleared. Every single one of them have said this thing: team, then stakeholder, then agile, heart and soul of PMP. Right? So team. Now we are gonna go with that. I'm gonna move very quickly. As I said, this is kind like drinking from the hose straightforward. If you want to go into depth where we actually solve the question answers, we make the mind map exercise and so many other things, you can join the boot camp that is going to start on this Friday. On this Friday, it will be there. I will explain that also in depth in the end. Okay. So team, we need to know 4M: manpower, machinery, money, material. Normally these four M are considered as the entire thing, how we looked into that way. But this manpower, also known as resource, human resource, we are going to talk about only that thing as of now: manpower, machinery, money, material. Okay, so when we talked about manpower, now we need to get the team, we need the team to work into that way. The plan we have here is resource management plan. Resource management plan will talk about how I'm going to acquire the resources, how I'm going to develop the resources, manage the resources, and control the resources. Let's talk about this one: acquire the resources. When you are starting the project, first I need to know, am I getting the physical resources? Am I getting the virtual resources? Is your What do you need, physical or virtual? What I would say that you identify the skills that are needed for your project. What skills do you need for your project? Do you need physical resources or do you need virtual resources? If I need physical resources, it has benefits. Virtual has its benefit, but also we have challenges. In physical resources, you need uh, transportation, you need to arrange food, you need to arrange accommodation, you need to understand the culture dynamics, like all those dynamics, which if you have a virtual team, you don't need to care. For example, I see Tilik drinking tea. He can drink tea, right? While if we were in the physical session, Tilak will think like three times: shall I drink tea alone? Shall I wait for the session? Like things of those nature. Those are in the physical sessions that we need to look into that way, how things work. But both have their own benefit. For example, today at Eid, no person in his sane mind will do the session when his majority audience is from India, Pakistan, and Gulf countries. If it was a physical session, but it's virtual, it's only 90 minutes. I ask you, you guys came, we are doing it. You are sitting at your home having sip of tea, and you are having these sessions, right? This is important. Bhaskar is sitting looking at, and everybody is at their home probably learning from the session, right? But then now we will never build those relationships. If I met you and we break some bread, we talk about that thing, that relationship cannot be built. And of course, you will hear my children's background noise, I may hear other background noise that can also distract you. So both has benefit and disadvantage. Then cost. For example, if I do this session, I'm in USA, New Jersey. If I do this session in US or New York, right? Let's say I do it New York, it will cost me minimum this one day booking $10,000, give or take. And for you to attend, I will never do it for free. Even if you join my program, which is $699 training fees. When I'm doing it online, when I do physical, we are right now currently charging four to $5,000 because of the things we are dealing. So every dynamics have things have their own dynamics. How we look into that. So we you identify which type of teams you need. You identify what skills level I need. It's important. Every person has their skill level. We need to identify at what skills I need. What are the skills that are needed for my project? I identify those skills. You need a driver, but you also need an engineer. You need a chef. You need a security person. You need a project managers. You need a HR manager, etc., etc. For example, in my organization, we have three people for content. We have one videographer. We have then one Google ads, one Facebook ad, etc., etc., etc. people. 20 25 skills that needed, and we are hiring more people continuously as we are expanding, because different skills are needed. So what skills are needed? You identify them, you acquire the resources. Now when the resource comes, the first and most important thing is you make a team charter. You make a team charter initially. Project manager should make a team charter. It has ground rules. It Team charter has ground rules. Team charter has how to take decision, how to handle conflicts, vision of the project, what values we are going to follow, all these things. Team charter, it's a live document, it is continuously being updated. Okay, ground rules are very important there. Now let's understand the entire team topic from Tuckman ladder, right? Tuckman ladder, also known as stages of team. Okay, sorry about my writing, it's very bad, I know that. So time, productivity, initiation, when the team comes, when you make team charter, ground rules, when you identify it, it's a forming stage. Project manager, at the forming stage, when we are at the forming stage, project manager need to provide them the direction. Hey, do that, do this, do that, do this, right? Then the next stage come. The next stage, at forming stage, every team member is doing his best. But then comes storming. Storming, every team member wants to be the leader. Here, project manager need to act like a coach, use a very important skill that is called active listening. Listen to the people and use emotional intelligence. Very important. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence consists of five things. Self awareness. He need to understand himself. Self management. Then he need to manage himself. Then he need to have empathy. He need to feel about other people, how other people are feeling. He need to have them. He need to have social skills. And finally, he need to understand motivations. There are multiple motivational theory. Guys, let me make it very clear. You are motivated here. You are sitting here because of any XYZ reason, whatever is your motivation. But you are sitting here because something motivated you, right? Something motivated you. Otherwise, you will not be sitting on Eid or on Sunday, whatever. If you don't celebrate Eid on Sunday at if you are in India, it's almost 9:30, 9:30 or 10 in India. You wouldn't be listening me. There is some motivation there. So there are multiple motivational theories that we need to understand when we want to engage our team, when we want to manage our team. So the first and the most famous is Abraham hierarchy of need. He said that unless lower needs are not satisfied, unless lower needs are not satisfied, we will not be motivated to take action. If I'm hungry, if I'm sleepy, I will not take action to do other things. That is Abraham hierarchy of needs. It's also known as Maslow hierarchy of need. His full name is Abraham Maslow. So Maslow hierarchy of need or Abraham hierarchy of need. Then let's say called it Maslow. Then Hertzberg, he took the work what Maslow has done and he said that okay, that is right, but let me make it simple for you. There are things that are called as hygiene agent, and then there are things that are called motivating agent. Hygiene agents are those things that must be present. If they are not present, you will become demotivated. Like the speed of my internet. If it is not good, I will get demotivated. But no matter how much the speed is, I will not be motivated to take action. Motivating agent, growth, opportunity, giving back to the community, that motivates you. That's kind of a motivating agent. Like this session motivated me. I was let me tell you this thing, this is interesting. I was sleeping and you know what dream I had? I had a dream. In the session, I'm unable to speak because I have a throat problem. Last night, I drink a lot of Coke. So I had this dream and I woke up with this dream and did a lot of gargles before the session. And when I woke up as a first thing, even before brush, because this motivates me. I spent like 2 hours designing this session, thinking what to give you, what not to give you, or how much to give you, thinking into that way, because this motivated, right? This motivates me to give back to the community, to work with you. Like when my students clear the exam, that motivates me. That's why I write such long success journey. That's why I record success journey. This motivates me. It's a motivate agent, right? So that's keep me moving forward, and that is why we have such a high success record in the world, 99% success record, right? That is why we we have 7-step formula in which I work with the students till they become PMP. For example, let me tell you this thing. Any of my student can put in the chat box how many messages you received from me today and in group that do join this session. Video, message, personal message. How many times? I wanted all of them to. I know even 10% will not come, but anyone who come, that is a win-win for me. That's a win-win for me, right? In the last 24 hours, we did 3 to 4 messages. Just come. Then we have we have theory X and theory Y. People who believe theory X, they believe you need to continuously monitor the people. You need to continuously monitor the people. If you don't monitor them, if you don't put the sensors to look into them, they will not work. That is basically theory X. Theory Y says that give freedom to the people, let them take a breath, and they will do their things. They will do this thing. Both theories have their merit. Both are used, but depends on what you are doing. Theory X, theory Y, both theory are used there. Okay, both theory are used there. We need to look into that, what we have in that way. Sajid, what is the timing? 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. Will be Saudi time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 6 p.m. Saudi time to 12 a.m. Okay, so theory X, theory Y, both are used there. Then we have a halo effect. Halo effect is that if I see someone, if I see that somebody is basically good at one thing, I believe he will be good at other things, right? He will be good at other things. This is called halo effect. Why? Like, why people start smoking? They see someone whom they consider as a high level person, maybe an actor, maybe a friend. He is smoking, they start smoking. How people start drinking, right? This is a halo effect. Or when we vote for a person or a business person or a movie star. I was saying Kangana, I guess, won election in India. People gave her the vote because of her halo effect, that she did good movies, maybe she did that other. So halo effect is always there. We buy things because of halo effect. I like we buy things because of halo effect. That's a very important thing. Okay, so halo effect is there. Then we have expectancy theory. Expectancy theory is the reason why all of you are sitting here. If I expect that this will help me, if I expect this will help me, I will work for it. If I expect this will not help me, I will not work for it, right? This is called expectancy theory. So all these motivational theories, when we know, when we understand emotional intelligence and we use active listening, now I can be act as a coach. Now I can act as a coach. How I can act as a coach? Okay, how I can act as a coach? I can listen to them people. Okay, I heard you. Sometime maybe it was internet or something. Now voice is okay to you guys. Is my voice clear right now? Okay, dip sometime. Is PMI promotes halo effect? They can promote. Yeah, sometimes it bubbles. It can be internet, up and down. Now this is called hygiene theory. This is hygiene. This is Hertzberg theory, hygiene agent. It was very good like 5 minutes back. But when it bubbled, then you have a problem. Right? You got demotivated. This is an example. Okay. So now, as a coach, I understand these emotional intelligence. These are my tools I need to have. Then, if there's a conflict among team members, I need to identify the stage of the conflict. At what stage conflict is? At what stage conflict is? We have five stages. Problem to solve. Problem to solve. Here, team members are open. They are discussing that, okay, this is the problem. I want to solve that. The language is open. Project manager does not interfere it. Then, disagreement. The problem has escalated into disagreement. I don't agree with you. You always do things like that. Then it becomes contest. Now I'm not talking about the problem at all. I am saying that for me to win, you have to lose. Then crusade. This is also known as fight or flight mode, right? Here we get a grouping. And finally, last, world war. This is an intraceable solution. Very critical. When you are at world war, let it cool. Let it cool down. Okay? Let it cool down. Take some time. The people need time to cool down. The people need time to cool down, right? Let it cool down. Crusade. Here we use diplomacy. I need to go to basics if the voice is causing problem. Hmm. Is my voice better somehow now? From airports. Your network is the problem. Possible. Yeah. Is my voice better now from now I'm speaking? It's good. Yeah. Okay. So this, this expensive toy, I'll put it aside and use this $19. Okay. So we use diplomacy. Okay. We let the cool things down. We use diplomacy, how the things are. Okay. Then contest, when it is more of a for me to win, you need to lose. For me to win, you need to lose. The situation is something like for me to win, you need to lose. I need to set a vision. Hey, let's set the vision how we can work into that way. And then work into that way, that level get reduced to one. What I'm trying to say is that whatever you use, whatever you do, you need to use things to get it back from level 5 to level 1. But level 5, don't try to resolve the conflict. You cannot resolve the conflict. Otherwise there will be more fight. We need to get it down. We need to cool it down, the conflict. Critical part here. We need to cool it down. We need to let the conflict a little bit takes it time. It's important thing, right? Okay, no, Sayed, it has nothing to do with bandwidth. Okay, so when we have identified what the problem is, we need to look at that. Okay, so this conflict has been escalated to this much level. We need to look into that way. Now, what conflict management techniques do I have? Here, I care for others. Here, I care for myself. You see how much importance I'm giving to this topic, how much time I'm spending on this topic. This is the importance of this topic. You will get questions on that for sure. You will get at the end of the session. Once I'm done, I'm gonna share with you 4 questions that actually my students share with me that came in the exam. Kind of go to that. Okay, so here we get a win-win situation. Here I get a lose-lose situation. Here, care for myself. Oh, you cannot read. Myself. Here, care for others. When I care more for myself, I will force my solution. Here we have problem solving. We discuss, we try to solve problem. We try to collaborate. We try to work together, even confront. When I don't care about them, I will force my solution to their throat. I will drag them. We also avoid the conflict and we withdraw from the conflict. Things are there this way. We can be avoiding the conflict. We can be trying the withdrawing the conflict. If we are having conflict with our boss, I can accommodate. Okay, boss, you are right. Or sometime We have other important things to do. We want to do it later on. We smooth the conflict. Let's solve it at later time. Smoothing the conflict. Okay. Now we have a compromising, that is a in between situation of all of them. Both parties, to compromise, parties have to give up something. When we say it is compromising, then both parties have to give up something. So compromising is kind of a very important situation here. Okay, so these conflict management techniques, stages of conflict, emotional intelligence, motivational theories. Once you understand, now using that emotional intelligence, you move from storming, we were forming, storming to norming stage. Now we understand the habits of them, how things are working. We understand those people, right? We understand their habits. And finally, we reach to the performing stage. Here we delegate. I am sporting here. Here we delegate. And finally, once the work is done, we adjourn the way. Project is done. Forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. Very important. Write it down in your notes. Throughout the project, whenever training need is identified, we will provide that training, we'll measure that training account. Okay? We will provide that training and we will measure the training account, training output at the end of the project. Throughout the project, we identify what is needed for the training and we will work into that way. Forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. At the start of the project, entire team needs training. At the end, some people are needing. We need to have a servant leadership mentality in the project. Servant leader mentality is taking care of the team all the time. We also need to understand virtual team. What are the challenges in the virtual teamers? Can't we say that myself withdrawing is a win from other? No, we cannot say that. You can accommodate it sometime, then it can be accommodation. If you are withdrawing it, it's a lose-lose for both parties. Identify. So, if we talk about the team topic from PMP booklet, identify which type of resources and skills are needed. We identify strength, weaknesses for that. You need virtual team and hybrid team. You hire the team members according to the skill. You make a team charter. Please mute yourself. Fazan, I would have to. Please, guys, mute yourself. Otherwise, if you are not muted, I would have to remove you from the group. Actually, block you. So make a team charter. We handle the conflict, how to take the decision accordingly. At the project, work into that way. As the time passes, we need to understand emotional intelligence, what your role is, how you handle the conflict, understanding different motivational theories, what we work into that, who the servant leader is, what is resource man, then resource calendar, a document that shows which resource will be present, when the resources will be present, what is a RESI chart, responsibility, accountability, consulting form, RAM, and last line. Guys, everybody read the last line. This is very important.
As a project manager,
Shahid on mute. On mute, read it.
as a PMP project manager,
On
you
mute.
will always
I said you read on mute. Everybody read yourself. You were unmuted even the first time. As a PMI project manager, you will always train the team member, never fire the team member. We will never fire the team member. Okay. So now we have discussed stakeholder communication team. I'll discuss agile in the end because I want to cover other topics. Okay. Okay. Now risk. Put a definition of risk in the chat box. Risk is an uncertain event which may or may not happen. You put your definition in the chat box. May or may not happen. And if it happened, it can have positive or negative outcomes. Okay. Positive or negative outcomes. You identify the risk. Okay. And we do that throughout the project. And the risk topic, the first thing is to make risk management plan. The first thing is to make risk management plan. So risk management plan, it has no risk in it. It talks about how the process of risk will work, how the risk process will work, what are the processes we need to follow, what is the definition of probability impact, is your organization risk averse, risk seeker, risk neutral, how your organization work into that way, right? So we will discuss about the risk processes here, how the risk process works into that way. Once your risk management plan is done, then you make a risk register. We follow the same sequence as we did in identifying stakeholder. We will identify the risk, put it in the risk register. Then using qualitative risk assessment, let's say we have 10,000 risks. Using qualitative risk assessment, I will put which are the high risk, medium, and low risk. Then using quantitative risk assessment, I will put the number on these risks. Okay, this much high, this much medium, this much low. Once you identify the risk, rank them qualitatively and quantitatively. Now I need to put risk response for each risk. Risk response. Now we have both positive risk, okay, that is called opportunity, and negative risk, that is called threat. Positive risk is opportunity, negative risk is called threat. Risk itself is probability into impact, right? Probability into impact. Guys, please remember we have to go to the agile. I'll do that as an end, because those people who will stay till the end, they should get the best cream then. So stay till the end so that you get revision of agile. Okay, avoid. So what is avoiding basically? Negative risk is called threat, positive risk is called opportunity. Avoid is making the probability zero or impact zero. You either make the probability zero or impact zero. Reverse of avoid is exploit. Exploit is basically you increase probability and impact, both of them. Both of them is increased. If you cannot avoid the risk, you mitigate the risk. If you cannot avoid the risk, you mitigate the risk. We have enhance, when you only increase probability or impact. When you get insurance, you transfer the risk. We have sharing of it. Okay, all these three risk management strategies are proactive risk management strategies. You identify the risk, you immediately take action. Then we can escalate this risk, both positive and negative, and acceptance of risk. Acceptance is I say, okay, the risk occur. I don't do anything. I just put a risk owner who will identify the trigger of the risk when the risk is about to occur, and we make contingency plans. We make plans. If this risk occur, I will do this thing. If this risk occur, I will do this thing. Okay. This is called active acceptance. We also have passive acceptance, which actually we don't do anything. In passive acceptance, if we have identified the risk, we don't do anything. Okay. So let's say how the acceptance actually work. You identify the risk. Okay. You set a risk owner. A trigger of the risk occur. He implemented response plan. Once he implemented a response plan, there are two options. Either response was good, so you are left with the residual risk, the small amount of risk that is available here. You are left with the residual risk that is kind of acceptable, right? Or secondary risk. Another risk is identified because of this primary risk. A secondary risk has been identified because of this primary risk. You need to handle that risk also. A secondary risk is there, we need to handle that. Throughout the process, whenever a new risk is identified, it goes into risk register, no change request, same process follow, and we'll plan for it. Secondary risk is treated as a new risk, we do that thing. Okay. In risk, we have review meetings risk review meeting. The purpose of risk review meeting is basically to look at our risk progress from the previous risk review meeting, and as a result of it, we generate risk report. Risk report is needed for every risk review meeting. It will have what has happened in the previous content, what is happening now, things of those nature. Risk review meeting and risk report. Okay, this was for a thing which you plan. If you haven't planned something and that happened, okay, or you have no idea about something and that happened, that is considered an issue. All the issues are put into issue log. We put the issue into issue log, right? We put the issue into issue log. We do the root cause analysis why it was not identified before. Then we raise a change request to handle the issue and we update the issue log. If this issue can reoccur in future, we will update lesson learned register. If it can reoccur in your project, we will update we will update risk register. It's a very important thing that anything that can reoccur will be updated into the risk register. So just to give you the context, quickly read these points, everybody. Risk is probability into impact. Okay, you have a plan for it. How do you identify the risk? You then prioritize qualitatively and quantitatively. We have a response for each the risk, proactive and reactive risk. We have risk escalation, trigger, residual risk, secondary risk audit, risk review meeting. We plan for it. Risk are in the risk register. Okay, risk management plan does not have any risk. Then how do you handle a issue? Something has happened that was not planned, that is considered issue. We do root cause analysis, how it was identified, we check how we work into that, raise change requests, etc. Next is quality. Okay, next is quality. I understand, guys. Many of you are thinking it is too quick. I'm unable to get the information. Right? I understand, you guys. That's why on this Friday we are going to have an in-depth session in which the entire thing, right, which I'm going, will go to the take 6 days of training and go into depth. Like that session works into that way, that each step I'm sending you the entire only first topic, the business environment. It is like if I share you the recording of that, I'll share it with you. Just message me later on if you want that demo class. The only fundamental is 3 hours. We go into that slowly with that depth. Okay, anyone can identify the risk. Anyone can identify the risk. Okay, quality and whatever your questions, I hope you have a lot of questions at the end. I will be more than happy to answer your question answers once we are done with the topic. Quality. So we have plan quality. In planning we have manage quality, also known as quality assurance in execution, and control quality, right? And control quality. Plan quality, we make quality management plan. Plan quality is basically we make quality management plan. Quality management plan talks about what is the cost of quality, which money you are putting aside, which standards we are going to follow. And then you have quality metrics, the KPI metrics, which things we are going to measure. What are the most important thing that we are measuring in the project? Anjum, I'm making you co-host also. Bhaskar, I guess you also co-host. Add people. Okay. Uh, Quality management plan, quality metrics we make. We have KPI matrices that we share into that way. We looked into that way. Once the quality plan is done, then we start working on the deliverables. In quality assurance, while the deliverable is in process, we make sure we follow the right process. We do audit. Audit is about checking the right process, that we are following the right process in the project. We are not following unnecessary process. We do audit of the process. Then in control quality, once the deliverable is made, this is while in the process, this is once it is done, we inspect the deliverable. We inspect the deliverable and see, does it meet quality standards? If it meet, it is called as verified deliverable. Verified mean quality standards are verified. Client has not approved. This is called verified deliverable. While we are doing this thing, we need to understand few tools and technique in the quality, like Ishikawa diagram, fishbone diagram, also known as YYY, to identify the root cause analysis. Right? We need to understand checklist. We check the sequence of the process. Check sheets, is something there or not. How sampling is used. We check the samples from the large thing and put into the way. Then histogram, a frequency distribution chart. We look at the histogram. Then we look at the Pareto principle, 2080 principle. What are the most important thing that we need to focus into that? We look into the Pareto chart. Then we use control charts. Control charts basically limits the process and see are we within the limit or not. If we are within not limit, what we need to do. These tools of quality, please must know, right? Because you will get into the exam the questions about tools of quality. Okay, it is. Yeah. So quality, if I go there, please quickly read it. I was in. Okay, we make quality plan, quality standards, then we make quality metrics, we make quality assurance control. Then the purpose of, you see how even this PMP booklet is 18 pages. Still, I give try to put Pareto into that. I put the purpose of inspection, audit, sampling, histogram, scatter diagram, fishbone, control chart, checklist, how the continuous quality improvement is done. So very important thing. I highly recommend you must have this booklet in your final PMP preparation. You see, if you get a Starbucks coffee, that is $9, and this booklet is. I actually put it the same way. When I was having a Starbucks coffee, I paid like $10. I said, why not I put the same price for this booklet? So I put the same thing for that booklet. Okay, let's go with the procurement now. So far, we are talking about inside the project. We are talking about inside the project. Now we are going to talk about outside the process. Okay, we are going to talk about outside of the process, outside the organization. We are going to buy something. We make a decision, we want to buy. We decided what we want to buy, how much we want to buy, when we want to buy. Okay, we write down our procurement statement of work, like how much we need, what is my source selection criteria, when I need, things of those nature. We make a procurement plan, procurement strategy. If my scope is fixed, or is my scope variable, like I'm not sure about my scope. If your scope is fixed, we will have firm fixed price contract. Everything is fixed, firm fixed price contract. Now if anything changes, the seller is liable. We also have fixed price incentive fee, where we give incentive to a seller if he can complete a little bit earlier. Then we have fixed price economic price adjustment. According to the price of dollar or oil, we change the economy price. Fixed price economic price adjustment. Then for if the cost scope is not fixed, we get cost reimbursement contract. We get cost reimbursement fixed fee, where we pay the cost of the item plus fixed fee, or cost reimbursement incentive fee, where we give somebody incentive if he can do earlier, or cost reimbursement award fee, where we actually give them, okay, if you want to complete it, this is the award for that thing. The difference between award and incentive fee is that incentive is agreed, so it is agreed, so it is challengeable in the court. Okay, since it is agreed, it is challengeable in the court, whereas award is like a tip. We also have time and material contract. We have a time and material contract. Time and material contract is basically a subscription model contract, like how we do Uber. Uber is kind of a subscription model. The more we use, the more it is. It has maximum risk on, it has maximum risk on buyer. It has maximum risk on buyer. It has a maximum risk on buyer. Once your contract is done, we make a procurement statement of work. That's your planning. Then in execution, we have a bidder conference. In execution, we have a bidder conference where we listen to the proposals. Once the proposals are given, we get an agreement. Now everything must be done according to the agreement. In control procurement, we do inspect when we get a deliverable. Now, when we inspect the deliverable, if we agree, then procurement is closed. Important thing to note: procurement is closed throughout the project. Not in procurement is closed throughout the project. If we don't agree, then we have a disagreement. We have a disagreement. We can do win-win situation when we get a disagreement. Try to negotiate. If that fails, we try to do what is written in the contract. If that fails, we get a third party arbitrator, mediator. If that fails, we go to court. We don't want to go to court. Nobody wants to go to court. It is never beneficial. It is not beneficial to anybody. We don't want, simply put, we don't want to go to court. We don't want to do it. But if necessary, we have to go to that. Okay. So we talk about steps in procurement. Please quickly read it. Many people has personally messaged me that they want to buy this booklet. So for those who are messaging it, you can buy e-copy. This is the same e-copy on the website here. Okay, I am sharing it with you guys. You can buy it and later on message me, and I will send it to you the copy. Okay. Okay. So let's go into that now. Now we'll talk about scope, schedule, cost. Okay. So whatever the question you have, some people are putting question at the end of the session. We will have a question answer session. We'll answer all your questions. Okay. So now we remember we started with need assessment, business case, benefit management plan, initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing, and then operations. This entire thing, project plus operation, is called product life cycle. This part is called project life cycle. What we will do, we will collect the product requirement using requirement management plan. Requirement management plan, I will collect the requirements of the product. I'll put those requirement into requirement traceability matrix and requirement documentation. I'll use the same techniques I use to identify the risk. I'll put the requirements there. Then using scope management plan, I put the filter, what is needed in the project, what is not needed in the project. I will get project scope statement here. I will get project scope statement here. Then I will divide the work into smaller manageable parts. This is called WBS, work breakdown structure. Right? If I give it number 1.1, this number are called as code of account, code of account, and the dictionary that will be used to explain them is called WBS dictionary. This WBS project scope statement combine are called as scope baseline. Scope baseline. You get the scope baseline. Then using schedule management plan, I will further divide this work package. I will get activity list, activity attributes, and milestone list. I'm dividing the work package further into activity list, activity attributes, and milestone list. Right? Activity list, activity attributes, and milestone list. I'm dividing them so that it can get all the things that are needed for the project. I will check their dependencies, mandatory dependencies. Is it something mandatory or discretionary, both internal, external? Plus, I will check, let's say, the activities they have finish to start relationship, or they have start to start, or they have finish to finish relationship, or they have start to finish relationship. Now we have discussed how the activities have relationship between them. We have discussed how the dependencies are there. If there is a lead or lag, we'll look into that. Then using analogous estimation, that is 100% based on the past history, or parametric estimation, that is based on statistical relationship, or bottom up estimation, which is the most accurate one when we move from backward, or 3 point estimation, optimistic, pessimistic, most likely, or optimistic, most likely, pessimistic. We will calculate the duration of each activity. Once we have duration of each activity, we will calculate the duration of the project using critical path method, and we will get our schedule baseline. Schedule baseline. Any difference between critical path and non-critical path will be called as float. Will be called as float. If you want to reduce the schedule, we will use crashing to add resources, and fast tracking to make activities parallel. If you want to optimize the resources, we have resource leveling and resource smoothing at overhead. Let me give you a summary of what I just said. Let me complete the cost, then I will come back to this thing again. But so far, what we have done scope baseline, we have done schedule baseline. Okay. Now I'm going to make cost baseline. The same activities, everything same. We have a cost management plan that defines how the costing activities should work. We will calculate cost of each activity. But there's a difference between cost baseline. Cost baseline is basically cost of each activity plus contingency reserves. Plus contingency reserves. Contingency reserves are a money that you set aside to handle risk. Contingency reserves are a money that you set aside handle reserve. Then you have project budget. Project budget is cost baseline plus management reserve. Cost baseline plus management reserve. That is project budget. If you want to check at any time, how do you do cost wise or schedule wise? We'll calculate CPI and SPI, or cost variance, schedule variance. It should be positive, it will be good. If it is negative, greater than 1 should be. So that is scope, schedule, cost baseline that you need to know for PMP exam, not more. You don't need the depth of them. Let me summarize all this thing through PMP booklet, and then I will give you one more summary. You don't need more than this for your PMP exam. Don't go into more depth. That is more than enough for your PMP exam. Read it quickly, please. Now schedule. You don't need to read PIM book at all, Chirag. Actually, PIM book is useless. If you read it, you will fail. If you want to pass the exam, then with the PIM book, I would say Agile Guide. That will be good. Then cost. So knowing these formulas can be important. By the way, why I said you should not read PIM book? Let me show you one thing, and that is what PMI basically says. PMI. If we go to PMI website now, and I have been saying this for a long time. Okay, where is the reference guide? There is somewhere. It is a reference guide written. However, they have written on their website that PMP exam is not based on PIM book. Right, if somebody wants to read book, and if you want to read book, right, you can read Andy Ramdale's book. That's a good book. If you want to read book, you can read Andy Crow. That's a good book. You can get my, if you want to read book, my pathway. That's a detailed read book. You can buy it on Amazon, on my website, e-copy, or Saudi Arabia, UAE, India, Amazon deliver actually. You can buy that if you want to read the book. Okay, but this, the PMP booklet that I'm showing you, this is not for entire PMP. If you're starting your PMP preparation, PMP booklet is not for you. This is a final day material. This is a summary of PMP. For depth, read the pathway to PMP if you want to read my book. Okay, now let's talk about agile. So agile consists of four values. Those four values is the heart and soul of PMP. Okay, uh, I'll share, Shashank. Those four values is the heart and soul of PMP. What are those four values? Why don't you put in the chat box? What are those four values? Put in the chat box, please. Okay, also sending the link of the booklet, both of the booklet and pathway in the group here. These are for e-copies. If you want the printed copies, okay, you can actually buy it from Amazon or depending upon your country where you are. Here, this is for e-copies. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Okay, where we talk about customer, we want customer collaboration over contract negotiation. We respond to a change over following a plan, individual and interaction over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation. What basically agile says, agile has simple mentality we need to have. Customer is the king. What does the customer want? Give him. What does the customer want? Give him. Team are important. Team work together and they provide that thing. So the processes which you may have, they are important, they are critical, but the most important thing is team, the human being around it. Let them do their own thing. We have structure there, but let them work. This is the mind of agile that we need. Okay, this is basically customer collaboration over contract negotiation, respond to a change over following a plan, things of those nature. Agile heavily focus on incremental delivery. We want to give minimum viable product, continuous delivery provide to the customer, continuously provided to the customer. That is needed in the agile. That is something that is said in the agile. Agile focuses on four values, 12 principle, and then Scrum is what you need to know in PMP. Scrum basically has a structure in which the entire project is divided into sprints or iteration, right? It start with sprint. We have a sprint planning meeting in which product owner, who is the voice of customer, who takes all the user stories which are requirements from the customer, put it into the product backlog. We prioritize the product backlog by high value, high risk. Then we estimate story points, that is effort required to complete each user story in it. And in sprint planning meeting, from product backlog, we'll make sprint backlog. Like sprint backlog is what you are going to do in this part and sprint. We get agreement on that and we get sprint goal. The sprint can be 1 to 4 weeks. Normally it is 2 weeks. So once the sprint goal is ready, we get daily stand up. Daily stand up is 15 minute, same time, same location. We ask three questions. What you did yesterday, what you are going to do today, is there any roadblocks, impediments, things of those nature in your process? We will talk about those things in the daily stand up. Once we have discussed that, we use information radiators in daily stand up, like task board, like Kanban board, which help us to identify bottlenecks. What process has problem based on the pull system? Where is the problem there? Like burn down chart, which shows how much work is remaining, or burn up chart, which measure how much work is done. Burn up chart, burn down chart, all these things worked into that way, right? All these things are worked into that way. So daily stand up, then we have, once the daily stand up is done, once the sprint gets over, then we have sprint review, in which customer comes, product owner come, project manager, who's a servant leader, here he counts. We show the demo to the product according to the definition of done, that this thing has been completed. Client checks it according to acceptance criteria. If they accept, it goes into product increment. It goes into product increment. Demo happen, then we do grooming of the product backlog. Reprioritize the product backlog. Reprioritize the product backlog. Maybe new user stories are added. In Agile, there is no change request. Whenever there's a change, it comes to us. We add the product backlog, reprioritize the product backlog, groom it. Okay, all the changes come to product owner. Once sprint review is done, then you have sprint retrospective. Sprint retrospective is of 5 stages. The purpose is to identify the lesson learned. That's it. If you understand 5 events, which we just discussed, three roles: product owner, scrum master, team. Team is responsible how the work is done. Team calculate the velocity, story point. Product owner tells the value. Scrum master is the grease. If you understand information radiator, that's more than enough for agile. The most important thing is have an agile mindset, incremental delivery, accept the change the things accordingly. Okay. If I go to the booklet, what do we have in agile? There is a scrum other things which I'm not gonna go into detail. Agile and PMP. Quickly read it. Oh, we are 10 minutes up. Okay, that's good. So all the details that you need to know agile is there. Then the next is how do you handle changes in the predictive and agile. In let's read it from the booklet. So how do you handle changes? All changes you need to raise a, if it's predictive, we need to raise a change request. Project manager will do the impact analysis, goes to a change control board and work into that. Change in predictive and hybrid are handled in the same way. In agile, the changes goes to product owner. He'll put into that. Now, what we have discussed here so far, we have discussed from starting from initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and control. Now, customer accept the deliverable. Now you go to closing. What are the sequence of closing steps? These are the sequence of closing the step. If the project is successful or unsuccessful, you get approval from the sponsor. Very critical. You cannot close the project without sponsor approval. Once the deliverables are validated, you review the benefit plan, close the procurement, write the final report, share the lesson learned, update the lesson learned repository, update the document, update OPS transitions. Now, no matter how much PMP you know, you need to learn how to solve question answers. I also put that into this part. Now, for those people, now this is, I know this is kind of a giving you from a hose directly, right? I'm giving you directly from the hose so many things here. So many things are there that I'm giving you. You want detail. If you want to go into detail, this is why we have a session in which we go into depth with you. We go into detail depth with you every single thing that you need to know about PMP. We provide you in that program. That program is starting on Friday. It is starting on Friday at 11 a.m. EST, that is 7 p.m. USA time. 5 days are left in that program. Okay, this poster was made when we had 232 PMP. Now we have 271 PMP. Just to give you an idea. Right now, I have 271 PMP. I actually, before this session, I recorded the success journey of Prem Kumar, who's 200. And I put into the thumbnail 271, just to give you an idea, like how many people are clearing it. Yes, we don't have 100% success record. It is 99%. But I am working with you. I am working with you till you become certified PM, till you becomes every single thing. You see this booklet, I wrote it just now. I wrote it just now. Yesterday, when we had our coaching call, I shared with them the 70 tips and tricks booklet, which if you join, I'll give it to you. That is just 70 points how to handle the question answers. 70 tips and tricks, I'll give it to you. Of course, the mind map will be given to you. Of course, you will get the 35 PDUs. Of course, you will get every single thing that you need to pass. The pathway to PMP, the soft copy. This one, if you need the soft copy, whatever we do, you will get it there. Let me just give you an idea basically how my programs work, so that if you want to decide, you should have an idea about it. Let's say you decide to join the program. Today is Sunday. Okay, the class starts on Friday. For next 5 days, I will share you pre-training material. I will share you pre-training material. Now, pre-training material is the best training material of my previous batches. I'll share that with you. For example, batch 4 Agile was awesome. It was just awesome. I'm gonna share you that. Batch 5 team and stakeholder communication topic was different. I will give you that videos, fundamental videos. So we'll start sharing the pre-training material till Friday. You will go through that, and if you have Eid holidays, particularly, that will be extremely beneficial. I will take you in an immersive program. I will answer you, work with you in every single thing. So now, when the class starts, like in the 6 days, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. EST, 11 a.m. EST, that actually becomes 11 a.m. EST becomes 7 a.m. 7 p.m. UA time. UA time. We will go through into depth of the training material. Every single topic. You see, I took 1.5 hours to explain the entire PMP. On day one, we will only cover fundamental plus stakeholder communication. Not only we will cover the topic, we will basically solve question answers. In the class, we will make mind map of the topics. In the class, we are doing these things. We're making the mind map. You are learning. This is called immersive training program. That I am taking you down into an immersive way so that you can open your mind. You can look into that way. You can become PM. This is happening in day one, starting from day one, right? Then when we go to day two, day two is only reserved for agile plus team. Now my day one and day two is enough for you to kind of clear the exam because you get all the content. And the most important thing, day three will be quality procurement. Risk quality procurement. Now I don't do day four on the next day. Day four, day four will be. This is very important. Next Friday, 28th. I want you to go through everything. I want you to complete your assignment. I want to make sure you are on the right track. You are on the right track. 28th. Then Saturday, then Sunday. On Sunday, we will help you in your filling your PMP application. And if you are selected for audit, immediately we will walk into the audit. Yesterday, one of my students got selected for the audit in the morning. We submitted the audit. Within few hours, the audit got approved. So we never had any issue in there. Then the next Sunday, the session does not end here. We will have PMP Marathon. 60 question answers, specially designed for you people. This is just the training program. You see, this only covers the first part. My program is 7-step formula program that takes you till you become PMP. That is 35 hours. Now, this is second thing is that trademark, I would say, daily follow up. I'll take feedback from some of the students which are currently studying and they are in here. How I do the follow up with them, and they will tell you. And this is not a practice I can take from any of my students. How much follow up I do, how much I bother them to make sure one thing they are on the right track. I will personally do follow up with them. Every single student, I will do follow up with them to make sure they are on right track. This is such an important thing. You see, you can buy my pathway to PMP, my PMP booklet. You can buy the online training. Now we are also offering the recorded videos only. You can buy that, right? So what you cannot get is my follow-up. For that, you need to join my one-to-one program or group program. And then a thing which changed the PMP dynamics. I started doing it, I would say September of 2020, these question answer sessions in which we actually solve question answers and which actually change the dynamics. And now, not only for us, the entire PMP dynamics, because other trainers also started doing one coaching call public way. But I love to work with them. Let me tell you, this week with my students, Monday we had a coaching call, Tuesday we had a coaching call, Thursday we had a coaching call, Saturday we had a coaching call, Sunday they're again sitting with me 5 times a week. 5 times a week we are working with them. But at least I promise you 3 coaching call in a week, depending upon how you want to study, what your way of studying is. I'll give you a customized roadmap according to your requirement. You want to study 4 hours, I'll give it to you. And then I will review it, your scores at every stage. I will review your scores at every stage to make sure this thing is working. These three things are combined called as success coaching system. Because using these three things, I make sure you are on right track. You are on right track. Of course, you will get my world famous PMP Mastermind group, in which we have 800 plus PMP 24/7. This group is active. I have student from Congo, Cambodia, uh, Canada, India, Pakistan, China, Kuwait, UAE, Saudi, etc., etc., like all over the world, Australia. So you can sleep, but the group will be active. Such a beautiful group. And of course, then your batch group. And I'm there all the time. My certified PMPs are there. You see, it has 800 plus people. Out of them, 500 are PMP. So answering your question, answers working with you. My simulator, if I show you my simulator, it has six set of people mock, six set of process mock. It has six 180, then the world famous random mocks. If you only get my simulator and you already I have taken the training, you have a good chance to be the PM. And then you get the flashcard. Yesterday we shared flashcard. Yesterday we shared 70 tips and tricks. For those people who were not in the last coaching call, message in the group, we will share flashcard and 70 tips and tricks. I wrote PMP booklet. I gave it to PMP booklet to my students, right? Though some bought it, some gave it, whoever needed it. Every single thing will be provided, every single steps. And finally, when I feel that you are ready, I have a final day material. Final day, I have a mindset call with you. We have prepared the last day material. PMP booklet is one part of it. We have three things for the final day, which are just mind blowing. The most important thing. And I have then final mocks, six mocks, which even if you get this, even if you get it, you don't get that. You don't get it, right? If I put price on these things step by step, like this is more than $5,000, which we actually do in US. When we do physical trainings there or when organization, we do $5,000 per person. Here we are only charging group 699 and one to one $1,200. PMP exam fees is not included. No matter wherever you are, you can be in Canada, you can be in US attending here, Nigeria, India. The price is same. This is something that I am known for. I don't change the price according to location. I made this price actually, to be very true, I made this price according to India and Pakistan. I belong to Pakistan. My majority audience is from India, more from South India. So I make this program according to them. So even if you are in Gulf, even if you are there, right, which the fee will remain the same for you. We don't charge more. It is same for everyone. The program fees are fixed. However, I can give you two installment option. You can see, and even in the installment I'm not charging you more, like 350, 350 installments, 350, 349. It's not like if you pay one go, two go, it will be different. So just to give you the context, if those all everyone is clearing PMP, how basically, if I give you a journey, you join the program, you register for it, we have a call with you, 6 days, get a customized roadmap, join the coaching calls, do question answers, do the root cause analysis, we submit the application. I will evaluate, you give exam, and I love to record success journeys. This is my 7 step formula. Vishal, he cleared from India last week. Okay. Jawad cleared from Afghanistan. Then Faisal cleared from Pakistan. He cleared in 4 weeks. Kesser cleared from Saudi Arabia. Kunal cleared from Canada. This guy cleared 2 days back. He has 30 years experience. Right? When he told me his success journey that his daughter just graduated, that was just mind blowing. If he can do it, then Ashok cleared from Oman. Oman. Uh, okay. Ahmad cleared from Saudi. Ram from India. Hassan from Canada. Anam from Pakistan. Zahid from Saudi. Akhtar. Manasa from USA. Kavita from USA. So you need to take the step now. That it all comes down to this thing. Are you committed to take action? Have you heard enough to start now? If yes, let me hold your hand and let me help you to become PMP. Okay, let me help you. And if anyone wants the part product, Randy put me. I want the flashcards and pathway. You can guys, whatever you need, you can message me. at my number. Okay, Randy, I'm sending you a number. You can buy it. Okay, I'll send you the payment link. This is my number, WhatsApp number. You can directly, you already have my email address. I'm also sharing your number. You can click into that. We can join and we can make sure you become PMP. This all comes down to only one thing. Are you committed or not? I try to give you through fire hose. Even if you don't join my program, I'm more than happy, delighted that more than I guess 900 people registered, and according to my amazement, more than 150 people along the session showed up. I expected to 35 to 40 to be very true, but more than 100 people showed up. Thank you very much for joining. If anyone has any question at any time, you can reach me at my number. My number is very simple. I put in the chat. Do we still need 35 hours of if we have 3 years? Rana, there are three requirements that you need to have: graduation and 3 years of experience and 35 hours of training. All three are needed. Okay, all these three things are needed for you. Okay, so this is your time to make your career. This is your time to make your decision. Anyone, do we have simulator available to practice? Yes, Nivedita, we have simulator. I just shared you. You can buy it. Will we get the recording? I will live it tomorrow again at the same time, but I will place the recording there. No issue. I will put it. I initially said I will not give it recording, but I'll put it there for you to watch. No problem. Okay. Hi, Amir. It's kind of mind map that defined in your. No, mind map is different. Mind maps are the things that basically I'll show you. I also have mind map. If anyone join the program, I'll give you my mind map for free. I'll show you what mind maps are. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, downloaded it. What actually mind map is? This mind map. Okay, this mind map, this mind map is the most beautiful mind map we have ever made. We can zoom it as much as we want. Actually, many students have printed out this one page mind map. It also have after that entire mind maps there. You can actually also buy this entire mind map, right? It's on my website. You can also get that mind map there. If anyone buy any of the product, like if you buy the booklet or you pathway, I'll give you mind map of flashcard along with it. Okay, can we solve one PMP sample question? We solve every week. France, every week we solve on Thursday. We have a live question answer session on my YouTube. Feel free to join that. Okay. Yeah, you will get the recording on my YouTube channel. It will be up. It is uploaded. I will put it there. You can get that. G, anyone else? Thank you guys. It was honor to be with you. I wish you best of luck. If anyone wants to join the program, you can contact me. And let me take up before we go back some feedback. Didas, can you unmute yourself? Can you give? Can you tell me a little bit, people, what about the follow up? How does I do follow up here? Can you tell me a little bit here?
Yeah, actually, she look great.
What is my follow up system?
And it's going tough. He has been facing a lot of challenges here and there, but keep up.
I'm not.
So I really appreciate for your support. You have a very big support for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Burhan,
have a lot of challenge, but you bring me up so that I can come again and see
thank you.
and go.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very
Thank you. Okay. So, Burhan, what do you say?
Yes, sir. I will say like I am on track due to your follow up. Otherwise, I couldn't continue this.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, guys. I can go on with my all my students, but I have to record a success journey of PGMP. So see you till next time. And I really want that you guys join the program so that I can really hold your hand and help you becoming PMP. With that, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, good morning, good evening, good night, happy Eid, and bye bye. So those people who are still listening to that, guys, you still have the chance to join the program before the offer go away. So I look forward to coach you, guide you, and work with you till you become certified PMP. And with that, best of luck and become PMP. Bye bye.
I would have not been able to clear the exam if Amir Ali would have not been there. I would have not been.
I did not believe that I will be able to clear my PMP within a month.